Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another Q&A Saturday. I am Alison Beer of AlisonBeer.com, where I help people who want to live lighthearted, ignite their creativity, and learn to draw their very own cartoon characters. My question today comes from Ganesh in India, and he writes, "Hi, I'm looking for a few tips to draw human faces as cartoons, and also how to exaggerate on peculiar facial expressions." Ganesh, this is such a great couple of questions. I'm going to deal with them one at a time. So this week, I'm going to look into how to draw human faces as cartoons. So when you're drawing someone and trying to turn them into a cartoon, you need to look for the main features that you would use to describe that person if you were looking at their photograph and trying to tell someone how to find them and recognize them. The first thing we see about this lady is her heavy spectacles. She's got a relatively round face, she's got some beads on, and then her hair is a dominant feature. So we always draw the crosshairs so that we can place the eyes and the nose in the right space relative to the rest of the face. And there I've drawn a nice round globe for the head, crosshairs, putting in the eyes. Now looking at her nose, I happen to know this lady. I know she's got a fairly straight nose and a somewhat beaky nose. I've positioned the face looking off to the right-hand side because it's always easier to get a better looking face when the face is slightly in what we call three-quarter profile. So you can see the nose pointing in one direction or the other. Now I'm roughing in her lips. And now it's time to go along and, well, let's just firm up those spectacles because they are heavy. So we need to get the glasses quite a distinct shape. And now time to put in her hairline because, of course, what we see of her face and how we perceive it is completely dictated by how her hair frames her face. So the framing of the hair around the face is very important. And then the way the hair, this top of the head, how it's away from the face, you know, there is a fair amount of face above what you see. Now I'm putting in her chin and just rounding out those lines from corner of nose to corner of mouth and very, very roughly getting her neck in and now her beads. Bear in mind that caricature is a lifetime study. It's not easy, so you're unlikely to get a perfect likeness the first time you try, and I certainly am no expert. So let's add a little bit of color and there we have it. So here's our next example, and I've chosen this man because of his very distinctive hairline and face shape. And he's also got quite beetling eyebrows. You can see that he's got a sort of a heart-shaped face and hairline, and that makes him an interesting character to try and turn into a cartoon. So there we go. Let's start with the hairline because that is the most distinctive feature. If you were describing this man to someone else, you would describe the way he has that peak coming down his forehead. Crosshairs again, and another distinctive feature of this man's face is you can see the outer corners of his eyes actually droop down slightly, and that is responsible for a lot of the way he looks. He's also got a strong nose, a nice wide smile, and quite distinct lines that go from the corner of his mouth to the corner of his nose, up and down. They're putting in these very strong, firm brows, and going up to put in his hair and ear to fill in the top of his face. So there we have him, corner of the eye quite distinct and drooping downwards, the other eye also like that, lines round the corners of his mouth, and then of course we need to put in his neck. And he's wearing a collar and tie, so we quickly put in that. And this kind of clothing can also be quite distinctive. You know, a collar and tie, it's an easy enough thing to imply with just a few strokes of line and color, and then you have your character. Ganesh, those are my tips for how to draw human faces as cartoons, and I hope that it helps you. Now it's your turn. Did you like this video? If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, share it with all of your friends, and of course, if you would like more tips and things that I only share on email, head on over to my website, www.alisonbeer.com and sign up for email updates. Keep drawing, keep practicing, because some days you draw well, some days you draw better, and every single day you put pencil to paper, you will improve somehow. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Q&A Saturday.